Hey, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Five Questions of the Paulist Fathers. Today, we'll be going to our nation's capital, and over there, we're going to find Father Jimmy Shue. Hey, Father Jimmy, how are you?
Hello, Mike. Doing very well. I'm so glad to be able to join you guys. I've seen so much wonderful things about this series. Glad to finally be a part of it.
There you go, and let's get right into it with question one. Hey, you're back in school studying canon law, so just like grad school or completely different?
It's actually kind of interesting. So, for those people who don't know, I've recently been asked by the Paulist Fathers to take on a new assignment and work on a licentiate in canon law. So, what this means is it's a certification from from the Catholic Church to be a practitioner of the laws of the Catholic Church. Regarding things like how do the laws governing sacraments, regarding properties, regarding peoples, and so on and so on. Procedures that have to be followed. What does it mean to have? How do we hold a trial, and so on. And it's important for the community to have this knowledge in order to be a part of the conversation of the church, to be part of the Catholic Church. And the process of that is very much similar to kind of law school. It's a 6 semester program, and we talk about law, theories of law, histories of law, and we looked at examples and so on and so on. So far it's been a good process. It's in the first semester, so definitely there's still a little bit of getting used to. My previous grad school experience was seminary, and seminary has kind of its own routine. There's a lot of aspect of the seminary where there's the formations aspect of the seminary where not only are you going to school, but you're also being formed to be a priest. So in a way, in this experience at grad school, my focus is a little bit more on the academic studies itself. Of course, while still being a priest, while still seeing this as a ministry, as my priestly ministry today. So a little bit of adjustment, and back to books, and more books, including my very first subject, Latin.
Ooh.
And by favor, I mean the one that is really doing me in.
Better you than me, just say that.
Yeah. See, and this is a funny thing about canon law, Mike, is that uh, it's only definitive in Latin because it's an international law. So they need to have it in one language that everybody can read, so that you don't have different translation meaning different things.
Got it. Oh, that's interesting.
We all have to learn Latin.
Question number two, as you learn Latin, you've also been part of the USCCB's Journeying Together process. And so, what's the one thing that you've learned from your cultural identity group this year?
Yeah. So thanks for asking that question. That's something that I've been pretty excited to be part of. This program by the Secretary for Cultural Diversity for the United States Conference of Catholic Bishop, um, together with the Secretary for Laity, Marriage, Family Life, and Youth and Young Adults. Um, and as part of this process, we bring people from all across the country together in conversations about differences in cultural identity, and we have conversations in the local in their culture group and across culture groups. One of the things I really learned in this process is just how different everybody's experience is, but also how similar everyone's experiences as well. The sense of the experience of being immigrants or children of immigrants, the experiences of a family life where various different, very widely different cultural groups still share elements together. And it really came down to a relationship building. It really was an awesome experience of meeting incredible people from all across the country, being part of a team from all across the country. I had the opportunity to serve on the advisory team for the entire process nationally, and I also had the opportunity to serve in the individual committees as part of this process, including the committee that helped put on a national conference that accumulated the entire process. And just the people I met, and the understanding that I got to have, and the friendship I still enjoy. I think that's the biggest part of this process.
Yeah, it was great. I was with you in Chicago there too, and so it was great to be
Yes.
part of that.
Oh yeah, we had some fun time there.
And then question three, if you had a friend or a family member who told you that they didn't want to be Catholic anymore, what would you say to them?
Yeah, see, this is kind of funny part about that question is I think it's not so much what I would say as much as um how I would like for them to share with me. How can I as a priest of the church listen to the reasons and the whys and be and really truly be accompanying to someone who's going through that very difficult experience. Because I believe that people are, might say that they no longer wish the Catholic because of the lack of accompaniment, the lack of someone who can truly be that face of Christ to them. And I think that's the important aspect of when talking with someone who is struggling with their faith is to accompany, to be Christ, to lift people up rather than in a way giving a lecture because I mean it's more of a spiritual question, a spiritual struggle than a intellectual struggle. So
Sure.
that's the way that I think that's the approach that I feel like that's more fitting and more important in conversations and in dialogue with someone struggling with their faith.
Sounds good. And question four, what's a favorite comfort food that you have from home?
Well, uh, when I was looking at this question earlier, the qualifier on this is I have to know how to make it as well, and so I was a little bit more limited in my selection. But so for people who don't know, my background is I am a Chinese of Chinese descent, and I do enjoy my Chinese food. And when I was stationed most recently in Columbus, Ohio, I will have to say there wasn't the best selection of Chinese food. So I had to learn to make some myself. And one of my favorite that I started learning to make was the dish called braised pork rice. Basically, it's pork belly braised in soy sauce, put on top of rice.
Nice.
How, how could you go wrong with that combination, right?
Absolutely. I'm coming to DC right now just to get some.
Yeah, there we go. Next time you're in town.
Sounds good. And finally, question five. You're on a desert island, and we've given you the scriptures already. But what's one other piece of literature or piece of music that you have to have with you?
See now, Mike, I have to first ask, am I expected to do anything else on this island?
That's up to you.
See, if for instance, I have to, still advise Father Rene on canon law, I would probably want a copy of the code with me. But if I don't, I probably wouldn't want to take one of those with me.
Correct.
Considering it's a very big book of law. Uh,
Could use it as a
but
notation device.
yes, exactly. So short of that, I would say I would enjoy novels. Some novels I could read over and over again. And so, I those in that categories of novels I could probably have read over and over again are things like Harry Potter or something like that. I've enjoyed those kind of fictional novel.
Cool. So that's five questions. And Father Jimmy Shu, it was really nice being with you. And good luck in your canon law studies out in DC.
Thank you very much, Mike.
This has been Five Questions to the Paulist. I'm Mike Hayes. He's over there, Father Jimmy Shu. And we'll see you all again later.